Eddie, it's a very poignant time for you in the Bangkok CSC. Tell us what's been happening recently.
Yeah, it is. I think everybody sort of heard the news or saw the news late last week that unfortunately Paul Lennon of Good Child Foundation and thaitims had passed away. Kind of positive it wasn't the cancer that got him, it was something else that got him, unfortunately, but at least it happened. So on Saturday, everybody got together to say their final farewells to him. And there was representatives there from Bangkok CSC, obviously the world famous. There was also good representation from the Irish House that's in Pattaya. They had a busload of guys and girls arrive. Lots and lots of people wearing hoops because Paul's wife, Pun, that's what she requested. She requested people wearing the hoops. So there was a lot of people there. I'm guessing a couple of hundred people easily there, most of them in hoops. And it's obviously in Thailand, for those of you who don't know, the whole kind of ceremony of funerals in this part of the world can be seen by Westerners as kind of a bit brutal. And I don't mean that in a really bad way. It's completely different from what happens in the Western world. So it can be a bit of a shock. I mean, I've been to several now, so I'm kind of I'm used to it. And it's not saying that everything is done very, very respectfully, but just to note that it's a celebration of Paul's life, really. And the fact is that he passed a few days before. His spirit's gone, and what's left is just the vehicle that moved that spirit around, and then there is a process of how that's removed from kind of mortal earth. So, and it can be quite kind of harrowing if you've not experienced it. But the whole of the time that we were there, it was all about lots and lots of music, lots and lots of photographs being taken, which again is probably something alien in the Western world. It's a long time since I've been to funerals in the UK, but I don't recall lots and lots of photographs being taken of everything and anything that's happening, and videos, etc. I never witnessed that in the UK. I dare say it may have changed by now. But it is very, very kind of, it is what it is. It's the Thai countryside, so this is what happens.
Yeah.
But I think
we have a few pics. I was going to say nothing that needs a trigger warning or anything. Just a few pics and a video that you sent me. I'll play a video here. It's just going to appear in front of us. Might block Dara's face. So apologies for that, Dara. Wow. Never Walk Alone being played.
Well, the funny thing was that as soon as we stepped outside, there was the weirdest thing. It was, and I know this might sound like a cliche, but for a few seconds only, there was the slightest drizzle of rain. And I'm talking 2 or 3 seconds, very, very drizzly rain, something you don't often get here. As you guys know, in this part of the world, if it rains, it freaking rains. You don't often get a kind of very slight drizzle, but it lasted 2 or 3 seconds and then stopped. And as I understand it, you guys can probably testify that seemingly is a good sign in Irish culture, that if it kind of rains a bit during that sort of service, then it can be quite lucky. So yeah, very odd. But it started and stopped almost immediately as we walked out.
Mm-hmm. And some photos here just as well. You want to talk us through this one? First one's a bit of a heartbreaker, I have to say. This is David consoling Paul's son.
Yeah, this is so basically what happens. This is at the end of the service, so we carry Paul up right up to the door of the furnace, if you like, and then he's put into the furnace with a box, and there is a monk. There's some chanting, and then the kind of flames come on. and the steel door just slowly drops. And this is Bernie with David, who were very close to that entrance of that furnace, and they just held on to each other for a very long time during that part of it. And then we left them up there for, must have been 10 minutes easily, where David just absolutely momentous thing to do, that he just held on to Bernie, even to the point where Pun sort of said, well, he's got a new dad there, that, you know, another dad that can kind of look after him now that Paul's gone. Very poignant, and very heartbreaking, that point. So, and this is the whole of the family. So, just from left to right there, Stevie is, believe it or not, Bernie's younger brother. Stevie's a big lad. His English is fantastic, and he made a couple of kind of speeches and really went down very, very well. The lad next to him is James. That's Paul's nephew, and his mum is next to Bernie. That's Steph. She's Paul's sister, standing next to Pun. And then the other two ugly mugs are myself and David. And Paul is obviously just behind us there in the coffin.
Is he in the kilt?
Yeah, that's the official Glasgow Celtic Football Club tartan, believe it or not. I was the first one to buy one of those. I think the players got them, but I bought one.
Very good.
And again, this is right at the end. Only difference there is you've got Pun and David there, and then David's wife Aileen, and Bernie and Stevie with me tucked in the middle there. And just behind that building behind there is actually where the furnace is, where the actual burning takes place. And you can probably just about see the monk is still up there inside there. This one's interesting. I'd always wanted to meet this gentleman. This gentleman is Ajahn Paul. He, believe it or not, is he's the guy that Paul spoke to, that owned the school in Canterbury, and persuaded him to take Bernie as a student in a mainstream school. He's a retired police chief in Canterbury. So he basically said, he told the teachers to take Bernie and look after him and make sure he was learning alongside the other kids, mainstream schooling, first time it happened. And in return, Paul and eventually Pun agreed that they would help teach the kids English, the 13 to 18-year-old kids English. And of course, it went on from there, because Paul then did all sorts of bits and pieces for the school, raising money for the school and doing different works for the school right the way through the whole period there. This is Bernie with Eddie Murphy. Eddie owns the Irish House in Pattaya. So he's got good relationships, the same as we have with Celtic supporters in this area where I am, in Pattaya, and good relationships with some of the ex-Celtic players, and one of them in particular, Didier Gat. He's got a good relationship with Didier. He goes to the Irish House quite regularly and FaceTimes Lubo and people like that. That's just a picture.
The hoops and evidence there.
All the hoops, yeah. There's quite a lot of people in hoops there. This was just one group. Some of these guys and girls are from the school, and there was a couple of girls there. Now they're a little bit older. Obviously, there's a couple of girls there that actually were part of the original thaitims and actually were on Celtic Park, which was actually quite nice. So they'd gone the whole journey with Paul, all the way from the trip to Celtic Park right the way through to this. So that was nice that they were there.
Fantastic. All right. Well, look, thanks very much for that, Eddie. That's really interesting. And obviously, condolences to you and David and everybody involved. So thanks for doing that for us. I know that's not maybe what people were expecting from the start of today's show, but important.
Yeah, I think it's, as I said at the beginning, I think what everybody has to remember is all the positive stuff that Paul did in his life, and for people, all over. And it's important that gets remembered rather than what you've just seen. Remember the things that he did. Look at the pictures of the thaitims at Celtic Park, in Belfast, in Manchester, everywhere they went. To take 40-something kids literally from the jungle, who'd barely been outside of a village, all the way to the UK is extraordinary in itself, let alone everything else he did through his lifetime. So it's a real positive thing, and you know, I don't know who's going to take up that mantle anymore. I don't know who's strong enough to ever do something like that again. I'm not sure there is anyone. You know, hail, Paul. Best of luck wherever you are.
Absolutely.
And just from a personal point, he will meet a good friend of mine and a good friend of his, Leslie Stronach, who passed away from the Celtic Supporters Club some time ago as well, last year or a year before. They'll be together again, and they'll be having a good time with each other, I'm sure.